Hello there and welcome back. Well, this is it. It's another brand new launch from the lovely John Lockwood. And of course, it's going to be an amazing deal. We've got the details on the screen already. Give us a wave, John. We're going to have a chat with you in a few moments. There he is. Oh, look at that. I love it. Big smiley face. Now, I've got the details on the screen so you can start taking advantage of the one-day special, as many of you have been already. You have got a set of 4 different dies coming to you for an amazing deal. You can see on the screen there, you are saving £13, giving you a price of £49.96, and you've got the ability to spread the cost. We're looking at concept dies. We're looking at dies that give you something a little bit different, a different way of you constructing your cards, your memory albums. So many different ways you can be working with these. I've picked out a couple here just to kind of explain to you what you've got. You've got a large version and a smaller version. Basically, you've got a card that when it opens out, it just keeps on going. As you can see, all those fabulous tabs in there, all measured and die cut. You don't need to do any measuring at all. Slimmer version, again, a lovely little way for you to open these out and create a fabulous card with so many different areas that you can be adding your sentiments and decorations to. And both die sets, along with loads and loads of embellishments, coming to you for just £49.96. Now, it's a concept set, so I'd be interested to know how it all evolved. So, of course, we've got John here. So I'm going to ask John. John, how did this all come to be?
She came from a friend of ours who's on the design team on the Angels, Barbara Deere, sent us a card for a housewarming about 18 months ago, and it was very similar. This is one Barbara's made. It's very similar to this, and I just absolutely loved it. The idea that you could have a flat card that came in a normal envelope, but when you opened it out, it had all these beautiful tabs.
That looks amazing.
So I emailed Barbara and said, look, Barbara, this is amazing. Where's this come from? Where did you get it from? She said, oh, I made it up. And it took her about 8 hours to make.
Wow, she's
and I just said, look, please, can I turn this into a die? So I did the smaller one. It did take a lot of work, I've got to be honest. But then when we sent it into the office, Peter at Crafts 2 said, John, you've got to do a larger one of this. So we did the larger one as well. And the idea is to make one of these the basic thing. Barbara said it took her, I think it was about 6 hours of measuring and cutting and folding and scoring. But when you put this together, it takes you about 5 minutes to get the basic concept together.
Wow.
Because the work is in the die for you.
Absolutely amazing, and I love it because you're taking care of all the maths, which is a bit that I just cannot cope with because I never get it right to start with. Now, not only have you got your concept dies to make your larger version and your smaller version, you're also getting some additional dies, all perfectly sized, to actually sit within those different areas for you to decorate with. So you can see some wonderful sentiments featuring in there, and of course some lovely dies there that are going to allow you to put tabs and different kind of elements on there. Of course, large open areas that you are going to be able to add your sentiments. The finished samples, though, are absolutely amazing. I mean, John, the design team have come up with some fabulous pieces. I mean, look at this one here for an advent calendar. What a clever idea. And then each one of those little flaps there, if I close it up just because I'm holding it mid-air, which is never the easiest way, in here you've got a little tag. A little tag, that could be like a little decoration that's going to be tied to a tree, or it could be a little promise or a little challenge or something like that. But what a lovely project. Or it could be a little memory album that you're creating. It could be that you're making little packets of seeds and popping them in there. Love the detail that you've got in here. I mean, it's just such a lovely style of card to create. Absolutely beautiful. Memory albums you're going to be able to create with these. Just something a little bit different. This one's a pretty one. Have a look at this. Wow. Absolutely beautiful. Love it. Gorgeous, gorgeous designs, time and time again. So whether you want to do something quite modern, quite funky, or whether you want to create something with the little tabs and pockets in there, then you can do it. And I think if you're looking at doing things like a memory album, then you've got all those areas there that you can be putting your photographs in. This is adorable. Right, I'm going to quickly show you some of the other items. I'm going to hand over to John then because we're going to do a demonstration with these as well. So details on your screen there, 071449. You are getting all of these dies. So you're going to get your large, you're going to get your small, you're going to get your sentiments, you're going to get your tags as well on there. Now have a look at the price on your screen. £24.98 is your flexi buy payment. That will get you everything over 2 payments. Now if you just wanted to go for, say, the large tag, let me just show you, £23.99 you'd be paying just for that one die. You wouldn't get any of the others. You wouldn't get the smaller, you wouldn't get the sentiments, you wouldn't get the additional embellishments. But £23.99 for just what, extra couple of pounds, you are getting everything else. Now I know you've got a second payment, but to be honest, you'll probably be coming back for the second one of the die set next month if that was the situation. So you're going to then in effect be just paying what, £4, £4 for those extra elements. Makes sense to do it that way. So details are there on your screen, and that is the way that most of you are getting hold of them. But as we say, they are available individually if you so choose, but do think about it before you check out your basket, because I think it makes sense to go for them all. A couple of other things to share with you as well, and these are perfect to work alongside all those different areas that you can be adding your sentiments to, because this is where you've got your personalisation, and as we know, personalisation is key with a card. On this one here, you've got loads of different occasions that you're covered for. Anniversaries, birthdays, just because you want to say something nice. You've got fabulous anniversaries, all the different ones there, the years featuring with this as well. So a whole compendium of different sentiments. But you've got 137 stamps in total, because on this one over here, you've got a beautiful scripted font. It's like an everyday kind of font that you're going to be able to use on all sorts of different cards. That's not going to help, is it? No, I wasn't sure. But you can see there you've got your uppercase there, you've got your lowercase, you've got your birthday months featuring in there, you've got wedding, birthday, all of them featuring in there. Both of those, 137 stamps, wow, for £14.98. That is brilliant value for money, and it's a must-have. If you're going for the one-day special, then this is going to be perfect for you to put all those different sentiments on those different tags that you've got. And it only works out as an extra £7.50 on your each of those flexi buys. So worth thinking about. 205237 if you're wanting to get hold of those. Now we have got a bargain bundle for you as well. Here you have got a bit of a lucky dip. Now we've got a selection of items here that you will get 5. These are the items that they'll be chosen from, so there's no guarantee which element they are, but you will see some of the items that you will receive. We've got 11 different items featuring here, so 5 of those will be on their way to you, and they're going to be hand-picked bundles as well. So if you do decide to go for a couple of these, then I know the guys at Craft2 will try and make sure that you haven't got any replications within there. Beautiful ribbons. I wouldn't mind just a whole set of ribbons, to be honest, because they're one of the most useful things to craft with. But then you've got things like vintage safety pins here. You've got little tags. The most adorable lace frames you can see here as well. And I love these metal embellishments that you've got as well. And down the front, washi tape. Can't go far wrong with a bit of washi tape, can you? £15 saving with these. I think that's quite generous to say that normally it'd be £24.99, because I think it'd be a lot more than that personally. But there you go. That is the price that we've got on your screen there. So 896-530 if you're wanting to get hold of those. One more thing to share with you before we head over and see what, a couple of things, because we've got ink pads as well. Yeah, something else to share with you is this little set that we've got here for your corners. Beautiful, absolutely gorgeous die. Again, this is going to look beautiful on the front of your cards. Now have a little look. Let me just move those ones to the side for you. Just a few moments. You've got lots of different elements here. Where you are working with these dies, you're popping them into the corner there. And you can see you're creating all sorts of different effects. So you've got your corners there. Absolutely beautiful creating them that way. Or maybe you're going to create them all in the same colour to turn it into a corner like that. Or maybe you're going to be using it as the centrepiece as your card as well. Now it has got new today on the screen there. We're just changing that around because we have seen this one before, but we're not too sure, and we might not even change it at all because it's kind of busy. Our Emily is very, very busy at the moment because lots of you guys are placing orders. So there you go. If you fancy this die as well, £9.99. It looked beautiful actually working on the front of your fabulous cards as well. One more die set to share with you is the one that we've got to the side here, and this one is your luggage tags. And again, just a lovely shape, this particular one. In fact, some of the finished samples have found their way over here. I don't know if we've got any finished samples for this one, but you can see from the packaging there, giving you lots of inspiration. Tags are always nice for you to add your sentiments, to add your interest to projects as well. And there you go, you can see that you've got your large size tag featuring with this one. So there you go. I think it's lost a little bit of a sentiment on there somewhere. I will have a dig around, see if I can find it. But you can see they're cutting triplicate there, making it into a lovely little kind of zigzag folding card. But again, it's just nice. Just nice that you can make these as long as you want to, because of course you can overlap them. Those two in the middle have been overlapped there to make it go, and you could just keep going with that, couldn't you? £11.99 if you're wanting to get hold of that particular one. 271878 if you're wanting that. There's loads on the website there, to be honest. That is the way for you to shop. Look at those 5-star reviews. Don't forget, check out the Eyes Inks. They're on a brilliant deal at the moment, but you've got loads there, whether it's a cutting mat, whether it is double-sided sheets, whether it's the daubers that you need to stock up on, then please do take take advantage. Any of those goodies can be popped into your flexi basket alongside all those gorgeous one day special dies there. And we've got 7-day savers popped on the end there as well, so if you want to stock up on those you can do. So guess what time it is? It's demo time, so it's over to our lovely John. What you got planned for us?
Right, well I thought the best thing to do first was to show you how to put together one of the small tag card dies. So put the small book together and show you genuinely how easy this is and how everything you need is actually included in the set. Because I think you look at things like this and I go, yeah, but what about the covers and what about the tags on it? Everything's been included, so I thought this is the best demo really to start with and show you. So I'm going to use the smallest of the tag card dies, and it looks a little bit strange, this panel here, and I want to explain it. What you've got is this section in the middle, which is what gives you all the pages and all of the tabs. Then you get this section here, which is what gives you the outside card for the front and the back. And then you've got the two little tabs. One of them is plain, one of them is stitched. So you've got that little level of detail as well. So what I thought I'd do is show you first of all how we're going to cut the tabs. So I'm going to take this die, and it does look a little bit weird, but it's just a case of trust it, it works, it does what it's supposed to. And because this is quite a simple line, and I know that when you're making these, you're going to want 2, 3, 4, you're going to want a lot of different pages. I'm using here, this is just a 180 GSM card. So this is a double-sided 180 GSM paper. But the die with the simple lines has been designed so that you can cut 2 to 3 layers really easily in one pass. So whereas we'd normally say, you know, cut everything in 300 and do it in make sure you do each layer individually, this has been done so that it will cut a few. So I'm just going to run those through just to show that it does actually work. So we'll press that one. And while it's doing it, this die here, you'll see this actually makes your folded book for the front and back. But you've got a plain square, but you've also got these two little notches here. Now they're actually your fold lines. Now if I'd have done this with a full fold line through the middle, the die would have been 50% more expensive because we couldn't fit the centerpiece in it. So it was done intentionally. So all we do with this one, and this is again just a piece of 250 GSM card, I'm just going to tape that down and I'll run that through. So we'll take these ones off. I'll pop them to one side. Just going to take this one and run it through.
Now, just as John is doing that, sorry John to butt in, but we are incredibly busy. Already over 10% of the stock has gone, and we're only looking at being 10 minutes into the show, so we are very, very busy. If you want to take advantage of this one-day special, you need to do it as soon as you possibly can to ensure that you are going to get hold of yours. So you pop those through the die cutting machine.
Right, so that's running through, so I'll just pull that out because I don't want to drop it on the floor. I've been terrified of it dropping on the floor because obviously there's no one to pick it up, so I'd have to go and pick it up. This is the pieces I took out, and I wanted to show this. Look, this is a really good quality, from a really good quality paper pad. And this is a great way. This has actually made me pull out, and it's also meant that Sam now knows how many 12x12 and 6x6 paper pads I have. But it's cut perfectly, 1, 2, and 3 pieces of this. And this is the third bottom one. Can you see? You can still see the deboss lines in there.
Oh, yeah.
The die was designed so that it would do that easily. So what I want to do now is just to show you how we fold it. And this couldn't be easier. Decide which colour you want in the middle. I've used double-sided, so I've got a difference in pattern. And all I'm going to do is put this section in front of me that has what I call like the kickback missing. It's almost like a T-shirt shape. Mm-hmm. And I fold that over, but can you see I've not had to emboss the die?
Yeah.
Those lines are on there, and this is the third piece. So I fold that, burnish the crease. I then fold back these two little tabs.
Okay.
Really simply, and again, you don't have to score them, it's all done for you, and it gives me that piece.
Okay, yeah.
So then I take the next one and I'm going to change, so I'm going to put the feathers in the middle. So same again, fold that, score, fold that one down, fold that one down, and just burnish your folds, yeah. And I'm going to do a third one as well. So same again, fold over, because they say it's like children's TV, repetition works.
Well, I love it because it's like bottom to top, fold back, fold back.
Yeah, that's
bottom
it.
To top,
Bottom to top, fold back, fold
back.
back. Then all I do is take a little bit of glue. I would strongly suggest you use on this a wet glue. I'm using the Craft Artist because it's a brilliant glue, or use a red line tape. Don't use one of the tape runners, and don't use normal double-sided tape. This is going to move and pull.
Okay.
So you don't want it to pull apart. And all I do is put this one on top.
Oh, that's easy.
And make sure those two edges meet. So it's just rinse and repeat, same again. Glue on those two pieces. Take this one, same manoeuvre, stick it down. And you can keep going and put as many of those on as you want, but you'll already see the mechanism works.
That is brilliant.
Now quickly, see I've done it the wrong way.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is, if I can, quickly, this is the great thing about using a wet glue.
Ah.
So it lets me do my layout right, so it doesn't actually matter, so we'll put that right.
Oh, that's confidence for people as well, because as you say, if you do make an error, perhaps with the first one, I mean, is it a good idea to just have a little go with just basic cardstock before you use your best?
This is actually the first one I made. And this is what I made when the final die came through that was right, and I just made it in white card to give me an understanding.
Yes, yeah.
So that's your best thing to do. But that's all you do, literally, and then you can see, there we go.
So could you make as many of those if you wanted to?
You can
just
add
keep
as
going.
many as you want. I've got one, I'm not sure, ooh, I don't know where I've put it now. I've got one that's got about 15 pages in it.
Well, it's like the one, the Christmas Advent calendar that we were talking about earlier, and that one's got several pages in there. So
yeah. She's I think there's something like 8 or 10 pages in that one. She's done loads in it.
Very effective. You can see all the
Absolutely
different panels.
beautiful. I have to say thank you to Roshan. I think it's Roshan or Leslie on that one. It might say on the back.
No.
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 Oh, it could
I made it.
Hayley made it. Or it could be Maxine. So that's your mechanism. That's how simple it is. There's no messing about. There's no extra trimming. But what we need to do now is we want to neaten it. We want to card on the front and the back. So I take out the piece that I cut earlier from the outline piece. And if you can see here, I've just done this in plain white card. It's really hard to see, but I've got 2 little notches either side. Yeah? If I actually take my pencil, I'll just show you where those are.
Okay.
Yeah? Those are there. So what I do, I fold it over this way, and I just take to the edge, yeah? Fold on the notch, yeah? Fold on the notch, and then simply go into the middle, fold out, to give myself a perfect card piece. Yeah? Really simple.
Got you, yeah.
So all we do then is we need to have 2 of those. So I've got another one here, and you can do what I've done here. What I've done is I put this on my scoreboard. If you like a nearly neat crisp edge, pop it on the scoreboard and just put a score line between those 2 notches to make it a little bit neater. Fold it over, and what we're going to do, I'm going to put the front in first. So it's finished off this way. Yeah, so it's finished off there. So I'm going to turn it round. I'm going to grab my scissors, which means me going out of shot, sorry. And you can leave these 2 little tabs in, doesn't make a difference, but the less you glue the better. So I'm just going to take those 2 off. And then open up my card with the fold here on the left-hand side. Take this piece and I'm just going to put glue around there. Yeah, marry those up, fold it in so it's nice and even, and then put glue all the way around the flap and fold it over. And there's my front cover done, and you've hidden all the gubbins, you've hidden all the work. For the back cover, we do exactly the same, but we don't have to do any cutting. So what we do for the back is we turn it onto its back. We put the cover this time with the fold here on the right-hand side. And if you can see, there's no extra tabs to cut off or anything. So we just simply put wet glue again round here, and I would suggest wet glue is the best for this because you want to be able to manoeuvre it. And all you do is line this up to the front card, fold that over, open it out, put glue on this side, move that over, and then just slide it in, close and press. And that's it. It's made.
Beautiful. That's so easy.
It's just so quick. That's what I love. And what I found, I was talking to Jane yesterday, who made some samples for the show, Jane Roy, who works with Lindsay and her daughters Lindsay and Jodie. We were shouting across the road because she dropped them at the door, bless her, and then rung the doorbell and run away. So we're shouting across the road, social distancing. And I said, how did you find it? She said, at first, I'm not going to lie, I was daunted. I thought, what does this do? She said, then I watched your video and I started making one. She said, and I just found myself adding page after page after page after page because it was just so much fun. But to be able to do that in no time, and if you see, that stands up. And this is really, you know, 160, 180 paper. The strength is in the design, not in what you're making it from.
Now, you talk about watching the video, so can we all watch this video? Is it out there for us to watch when we get the dies?
Yeah, Sam has put all of the... Because I'm here tonight to do the 6 o'clock and the 8 o'clock show. Then I'm going home, so I won't be in tomorrow. I thought it was best to be here for launch to really explain it to people. Yeah. But I don't want to push anything or anyone too far. So we filmed 6 videos showing you all the different ways you can make this. The main one to show you how to put it together is on YouTube now. The rest will go slowly through tomorrow and they'll all be on from 10 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Brilliant.
They're all programmed and scheduled to come on. So they'll all be there and they'll be on my Facebook, my Crafting with John Next Door Facebook group, and they're on my YouTube channel for all times for everyone to watch.
How did you find time to do all that, John, and get them uploaded?
Because I'm not doing much else. Like everyone else, Sam and I have been at home. This is my first trip out that's not shopping. For the last 8 weeks, we've been keeping safe, as I would encourage everyone to do.
Exactly.
So I've had lots of time, but we have said from now on we will do a minimum of 4 videos for every release going on there because people have it's really helped people.
I think it is one of those things, if you can manage to find time to do it, then people really do benefit from it. Back with you in a minute, John, but I'm just going to give you a little recap in a few moments. But, oh my goodness, we have got the most incredible 7-day saver for you. Now, of course, John was talking about the cardstock, and cardstock obviously being relatively sturdy. I think we've got a whole mix within here. So you've got anything from 150 to 300 GSM. You've got kind of a mixture of each. So you've got 250 in there, 200, 250 and 300, 150 sheets in total. I do apologise. Lots of numbers in that little box. I have to put them into order. Just £9.99. How are we managing to send this to you and still make a profit when we are paying just £9.99? I don't know how we do it. Anyway, you need to get hold of that, and it's very weighty, and I'm glad I'm putting it down. If you want to go for multiples of those, incidentally, you can do. And you could pop it in with your one-day special, spread the cost over 2 payments, because, of course, your one-day special, you are going to need loads of cards because you're not going to be able to stop making cards with these when you get them back. It's a brilliant concept, and, of course, Barbara sent that initial card way, way back, and it's that card that has caused the inspiration for John to come up with the dies to save you all the time and trouble of doing the measuring. Barbara was saying it's about 6 hours it took her to actually measure and cut and fold and get all the different areas correct with this particular concept style card. But of course you don't have to worry about that time, because as John showed us there, literally taking the cardstock, passing it through your die cutting machine to actually creating, in a little over 10 minutes you will have created a fabulous card. The design team have had such a whale of a time. Now we've got 2 different sizes. You've got your larger and your smaller. Smaller one being a narrow card, so you can see here we've got one here, which I love, because when you open it up you've got all those areas that you can be able to decorate inside. So that one is one of the smaller ones. Again, it could be a birthday card that you're creating. Again, opening it up, you've got all those different areas in there that you can decorate. But then we've got some fabulous finished samples. I've been that busy going through these, I've lost the one I wanted to show you. It's Emma Blake's one down here, because she's turned it almost into like a little art journal. So if you're thinking about getting started with art journaling and you don't want to necessarily invest in art journaling dies, then you can't go far wrong with this die set to see if you get into it. And obviously you can go for your larger dies as time goes on, but I think that's a brilliant idea there. Of course, you can add as many pages as you're wanting to as well. Don't forget you are going to get sentiments with these. So the sentiments that you've seen on many of these items, and of course other cards you can add your sentiments to as well, they are included within this particular set. So you've got all sorts of things from congratulations, with love, all sorts. You've got thank you featuring in here, and you've got your main die as well as kind of your shadow sitting at the back there. But of course, it's the one-day special that has caused such a stir as well. You're going to get a funky tag set within here as well, which means that you can add your sentiments by the way of putting a little element on there. I'll show you that set in a moment. But within here, the concept that you've got is such a clever idea. You are going to have loads of fun. And of course, the beauty is you can add as many of those elements. So if you wanted to pass on a message there, look at that, get well soon. That could be a person's name. It could be congratulations being spelt out along the middle there. You can go on and add as many layers to this as you want because it all folds flat. As you can see there between those covers, absolutely brilliant. Now I did mention to you that you have got obviously your little elements, your sentiments. I've just found another one I've got to show you. Can I show you this one before I show you the funky text? I thought this is so cute. Look, this little penguin on his holidays. You make my heart melt. But then, look at this, you can take, you know how usually when you get a stamp set, you've got loads of different stamps. You could literally use all those stamps, couldn't you? Make a little story, as you can see there. Absolutely adorable. Love that one. But, of course, the dies. You're going to get the dies that will allow you to make your larger cards. You make the smaller ones with the narrower ones, but then you've got these fabulous little kind of sentiment tags. Now, with these, you've got all the different elements, as you can see down the side here, so you can mat and layer these as you're wanting to. Perfect opportunity for you to stamp on these. Don't forget the alphabet stamp and all those wonderful sentiments that we've got. But you have got your larger sentiments coming with this as well. So all of those coming alongside your concept dies. Now, they are a brilliant deal. You can get the dies individually. So if you're wanting the concept dies and you want them by themselves, do consider going for the one-day special. You'll understand why when I explain to you that £23.99 is what you'd be paying for either of these two, but you'd only get one of them. Oh, that's a large one. So if you're going for the larger one, the square one, £23.99. Have a look at the details on your screen there. That is your flexi buy to get hold of all of them. So you'd get the large one, you'd get the slender one, the next one down, you'd get the sentiments, you'd get the tags, everything, and you're only paying an extra couple of pounds. Now I know you've got a second payment in a month's time, but when you see all these different elements that you've got here coming together, you are going to be so pleased that you went for everything and you didn't just go for that one die set to start with. Now, 20% of the stock has gone. 20% of the whole day's stock. Before we even got started, you guys at home were buying this as well. So we knew it was going to be a popular one, and we, yeah, it's flying out. We hope it's got enough for the next 24 hours. But of course, John's just explained the concept to us. We're going to head back over to John because, of course, we want to know what else we can do with these. So I'm going to hand back over to you, John. You all right, dear?
I'm very good. Yeah, I'm just trying to think, all right, what am I doing next? What shall I do next? So what I was going to show you on this one is I'm going to use the large one this time, but there is a little bit more in the large set, so you're getting the same. You're getting this outside, if I do it that way, it's probably better. You're getting this outside line die, which puts those little notches in and cuts you the exact size card. And the size card for this is 5.5 by 7.5. So it's designed so that it matches with all dies that I've done before, which are all in that ratio. And it also matches with all of the press cut nesting dies that we did a couple of weeks ago. So they will make the perfect mats and layers. In fact, they were going to be on this show as well, but unfortunately they all went. So we've got that one. You get the die that does you the panel and the workings. You get the two dies again, a plain and a stitched, that give you the tabs. But you also get this little sort of extra funky tag, which is what was used on the book that Hayley was looking at with the actual Christmas tabs in there. So you can use that on its own, or use that one, or use the panels and things together. So I've tried to include a lot to decorate it. But with this set, what I want to show you how to do is I want to show you how to make a book that doesn't just fold out. This one is one that will just actually fold almost flat. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the die again. And this is the large one this time. And this time I've got 300 GSM craft cards. So this is very thick, but I am going to cut two sheets together. Again, the die was designed so that with a good machine, it's nice and fine and it's plain lines. And I know that when we came to make this, you got to cut quite a few. So I tried to make sure that there were enough so that you could, at least on 300, you could cut it at least two together, and with thicker paper, thinner paper, 3 or 4. So I'm just going to run that through. It's right in the middle, and you see it's almost a full size of A4. So we're going to run that one through.
And I have to say, John, I was just about to say, you said multiple layers there. I mean, there's not many die companies you could pick up a die and be able to cut through so many layers, thick cardstock.
No, you tend to find that you will always say, oh, it's designed for one layer, it's designed to do you just one piece, and certainly with 300 GSM, it's very rare that someone would say that. But we do design the dies extremely well to make sure that they do. And the only thing you may find, and this happens with a lot of fine dies, and I'll show you this when I take it off, sometimes the pressure will make your die sort of scallop a little bit.
Okay.
You can see there.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Yeah. Makes absolutely no difference whatsoever.
Okay, that's good to know.
Absolutely none. It was designed to take that pressure. But there's my first layer, cut 300. But there's my second layer, cut 300.
Fabulous.
Because they're simple shapes. So I've got these. So I'm going to show you very quickly again. It's no different with the large one. So I'm going to show you how to just glue it together again. So just fold, burnish, back, back, burnish those. Same again, fold, burnish, fold those two back. But I think it's really, I could have had this all ready. I mean, I've got piles down there that are all ready. But I thought it's really important to see that it's great when we come on air and we say, and this is so quick to make, and we spent hours scurrying about at home making them. I think it's important to show you literally how quick it is. So this is 2 cuts. I've got 4 layers through the die cutting machine. Really simple. There's all my 4 pieces. So again, take my glue. And again, when you're using a 300 GSM card, I would strongly suggest a decent wet glue on this, because what wet glue does, it welds the paper together. The glue, the PVA in there, actually soaks through into both layers, and it's like welding with metal. You know, if you've ever tried to pull a card together apart when it's dry, and you get like bits of different sides coming off.
Oh, yes.
Because it's actually welded. So that's what you want with anything that moves. So I'm just going to pop that together. There we go. Done. Simple. So there, very quickly.
That's fabulous.
All of those pieces. But what I want to do this time is I want to do it so that it just opens as a single book. So with the die, I've already cut. In fact, I'll show you. I've cut here a piece with the die, and I've got my notch at the top and my notch at the bottom. So you can, if you want to, take a rule and go between each notch and just crease down if you want to make sure you get a nice crisp fold.
Okay.
It's not important, but you can do that. But this time I don't want a front and a back cover.
Yeah.
I want it to be almost like a memory book type idea, or a journal book.
Yeah.
So all I'm going to do is place this in, and I'm going to fold this back layer back. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm going to glue the whole of it.
It's like a big letter E as well.
Oh, it is actually. It's like my mum's name. I should do my mum's name, Eileen, all the way running through it, shouldn't I? And I'm going to fold that and take it to the end. So you can see the fold, yeah?
Got you,
It's
yeah.
designed that they go right to the end, and we'll just fold that one down.
And I guess if you wanted it to be a project that kind of grows and grows and grows, then you don't necessarily have to use the score line. You could slice that and then kind of keep your back page for when you're finished.
Yes, yeah, so you can do that, and you can just keep adding, but this way now you can see I've got turning pages.
That's fabulous.
So what I want to do is I just want to make sure that I then glue down this, would this be a J?
Yeah, it could be a J, yeah.
Got an E and a J, yeah. So I just want to turn that and glue that down. But I'm not trying to match it, I'm trying to get that completely flat so that each page turns. And that way, when I close that up, I've got a single fold, single bind, but when I open it out, I've got my pages. And then to decorate, what I've actually done is, if I bring these pieces in, I've used the matching tags that come with it. So you see you've got some with stitch and some with plain, and I've just used a little bit of patterned paper again from my stash. So all I'm going to do is, and I think this finishes it off, take a little bit of the eyes ink. I'm using the walnut from the minis and the sort of inchies, as Hayley calls them, and one of the finger daubers. And I'm just going to ink around the edge just to age it up a little bit, and it really brings that stitch detail to life.
Now, I was
And
about to say to you which you're using, but it doesn't matter because you're getting both the dye and the pigment in the set.
Yeah, I'm using the dye-based ink because I want it translucent and I want to see through it. If I wanted it to be like a solid edge or something I could emboss, I would use the pigment. But then, of course, I've got my tabs. Actually, I don't want to put those on first, but I've taken some other strips of paper and just, again, matted these on a little bit of a darker shade. I've got some already cut. And what you'll notice is, if I show you this one, I've cut one wider than the other. Oh, honestly, do you know, I have everything prepared and laid out, and I've always blamed the presenters for nicking my bits. But
Well,
I actually think
found
now it's me.
I found a card similar to the one that you've laid that one out at, to be honest. So
Yes.
do you want me to show that
Yeah,
one?
if
Have
you
a dig
could, that'd
around?
be great.
Because this, I was looking for one with a scored and folded spine to it, and that's exactly what I've got here. So it looks like a card for all intents and purposes, but when you open it up, that's where you've got, obviously the insert has been added there. So the first layer, as John showed us, has been put in place, but then you've got all your fabulous pages here that do extend out as well, so they're not stuck into the covers. But then on the back cover here, I love this idea where he's added like little tags and elements, little pockets from all sorts of bits and pieces that you've probably already got within your stash, and he's used the fabulous corners that we've got as the die set for you on the show as well. So it just shows that £9.99 set for those corners comes in useful, sitting in the corner of each of those elements there. Of course, John's working with a one-day special. We've got the details on your screen. Incredibly busy for that one-day special. So if you do want it, pop it into your basket. Have you found your bits yet?
I have, yes. I've started gluing my little bits in. So what I've started doing is just to glue in, as you would do with a normal sort of journal. But what you've got is, I would do that, and I've got this piece here done, a bit of newsprint there and a nice bit of paper, but it doesn't, do you know what I mean? I've got little silly tabs and things, I'm not sure what to do with them. This is where the tabs come in, because they fit on and give you a really nice border all the way around the outside. So it allows you to really play with decorating it really simply. And these have all been included within the die set, so that you can get these bits. And I wanted to show you this little bit here. So I'm just going to decorate this. But can you see here where I've got the reverse? And that's not quite so attractive. What I've done is, I'm just going to ink one up. So I've got another piece that I've cut, but I'm just going to go around and again, ink the edge, because it just gives that little bit of difference and makes it stand off. But one of the things I can't be bothered with is trying to cut things down. So this was designed so that this will actually slide in
Clever.
to go there. So you've got those different levels. So I just slide that in, a little bit of wet glue again, and put that on. And that way I'm completely covering it.
Perfect.
And of course all the sentiments, which I've got some cut and I don't know where I've put them. I'll grab one of those actually. But all of the sentiments, we actually launched these sentiments early, because these were designed to go with the book.
Right.
But the book took longer to get right than these did.
Okay.
So these arrived earlier than the book, but they were designed, because if you see, if I show you on my book, they're all designed to fit exactly in these spaces.
Perfect. Oh, right, yes.
So they're all designed to fit exactly on the tags and give you
Clever.
exactly the right thing. And the same with the little funky tags. So I've got one here I've done just with the stamp set. But again, you can just start to really decorate this up.
Clever.
And keep adding different papers and different pages and things like that. And I just thought it was really important to show that it's not just a pull out. You can make yourself a nice flat fold card, which will naturally create its own spine once it's done.
Very clever. I like that
And
as well,
folds
because
out.
you can make almost like a little bullet journal with that, couldn't you? With each little tab being a different achievement that you've got to do each day or something like that. Very
Oh, what
clever
a
idea.
fabulous idea.
Oh, there's loads. I'm full of
Yeah,
them.
you could almost have a day planner and...
Well,
you've
yeah,
got me
you could
going
get
now,
yourself-
Hayley. You always do. You get my brain going.
Well, I'll talk about being organised, but I'm the least organised person you could possibly meet. Now, a couple of other items that I need to tell you about as well before we chat about those dies again. I've been busy for the one-day special. Details are on your screen there. You've got 21 dies in total. Yeah, if you wanted the one-day special, the details are there on your screen. And John was talking about how with that larger die, he could have put a score line in there, but this is why. When John comes to designing dies, he wants to make sure that he's maximising that area. So that is your metal area when he's creating with this. What he has done is he made sure that because you haven't got that score line, which obviously you can put in yourself easily, you have got the benefit of all those additional dies. So the stitch detail die that's going to mat and layer there. You've got your sentiment die that you've got there. These are all individual little dies that you can use in different areas of your project, matting and layering as you go. And it just means that you are getting everything you need, even down to that little circle frame there that's going to sit neatly on top of the circle there. It's all about the design, and that is the key thing. You get in loads within here, 21 dies, and of course all the possibilities for you to use them in so many different ways. That is the key thing with these, and over a quarter of the stock has gone. The styles of cards that you're going to be able to create with these are phenomenal. The memory albums, the memory books, the planners, the journals. You will find that these will be a go-to set when you get these home. And I love it because you can use, you know when you get a paper pad and you've got all those fabulous elements and you just want a lovely way to showcase them. Things like your Studio 45s and all those gorgeous papers. Well, this is the perfect opposite. Did I say Studio 45? Graphic 45. It's a mixture of Studio Light and Graphic 45. Making up my own brands now. So you can see you've got decoupage featuring on the front here. But as you open it up, you've got the ability to use all those embellishments that you'll have in your stash. Use those dies that you've got. You can see here the matting and layering that's been done. It's all perfectly sized. The rounding of those corners, absolutely perfect, true to perfection to work with the rounded corner that you've got of the main die there. You're getting that within your one-day special. If you're just going for the die by themselves to create your core base, then you won't get those sentiments. So do consider the one-day special. Now this gorgeous piece that you can see here, this actually expands out. So can you imagine giving and receiving this? I mean, it looks absolutely beautiful. You could have little photographs on each one of those tags, couldn't you? It could be like a little memory book for a child's first year with lots of photos. Of course, you've got the large version, which is the one that I've just shared with you there. But then you've got the smaller version, more slender feel. Now, again, that's going to fit into easily go into an envelope when you're posting it. And again here, you could be using your words of encouragement, you could use it for sentiments, all sorts of different things that you could be popping on there, couldn't you? Quite a spiritual look to a card maybe. You could make it chunkier with all your different layers in there, or strip it right the way back if you wanted to, just using your pretty papers there. And again, you've got the ability to add to these if you're wanting to, or you could just go whole hog and create your own advent calendar. I love this idea. This is using the larger die, and what's happened here is you've got every single one of those tags, and because, as John explained to us, we can multi-use that die to make it as large as you want it to. So here we've got 24 of those tags there, and sitting here you can see that you've got little tags in there, and of course all the elements that we're speaking of are included because the little tag die that's going to sit in that little pocket is included within here. You don't have to go trying to find anything else. Everything's included. It really is a clever little concept of these as well. Absolutely beautiful, as you can see they're gorgeous. Love it. The dies themselves, the one-day special, you're getting the large die, you're getting the smaller die, you're getting all the individual elements to allow you to mat and layer those. You're also going to get your tags. Your tags and your sentiments are going to fit beautifully on those different levels that we just saw John working with, but of course you are going to be able to use them on your other projects as well. 2 flexi buys of £24.98 is a brilliant price to be paying for these. First payment will go out of your account today and everything will get sent to you. Second payment in a month's time, but you will be crafting with these and you'll be using them over and over again, I am sure. 449. Now we've got queues forming on the phone lines. You probably noticed it at the bottom of your screen, but just to let you know, you can jump onto the website and shop that way as well. That's where you'll find all the goodies that John's brought to us. There's loads there. You can find your glues, you can find your stamps, there's lots and lots, and if there's something that you're missing that John's mentioned and we haven't got there, then you can jump into the brand section. So to add those goodies into your basket. Don't forget your magnetic sheets as well if you can get hold of those. I don't know if we've got those in stock from Crafts too, but yeah, it's a good idea to get hold of those. Your die storage, because you don't want to lose anything, do you? So let's hand back over to John and see what he's got next coming up for us.
Right, what I'm going to do this time, I have to say and be honest, I've stolen this wholeheartedly from Roshan, who's one of the Angels, the design team. And this was just amazing when it came through, and I'd never thought of it. So what we've actually done is, I've cut 4 layers together. Again, this is of a patterned paper, but I only need 2 for this. And all I'm going to do is simply fold them again on the lines in half. So I'm just going to fold them in half on the line. And if you can see there, I couldn't actually see the line. If you look on this one, you see I can't actually see the line at all. But if I trust it and just let the paper fold, it will fold on the line. But this time I want to do this in reverse because I want to have the other pattern. And this is how we're going to make a stand-up card. So what I want to do is I want to make this to stand up. So I've done that, and what I want to do is with these little tabs is what I would call break them. And what that means is I fold them one way, open it out, and fold it the other way. This is where a sort of pattern paper with 2 different sides really makes it obvious. Excuse me.
Oh, bless you.
So I'm just going to fold over that way and fold over that way. And then what I'm doing is effectively breaking it so that the fold works in both directions. So I'm going to do that on both sides, just making sure I've broken it. There we go. And so I'm then going to just fold it over one way and hold it with the... So I've got the hinge this time on the left. I'm going to fold over the other one. And I've got the hinge on the right. But if you can see, this side I've got the 3 tabs. And this side I've got the 2 tabs. And I'm going to open it up and I'm just going to slide it in like this. So that I've got a piece that's the width. So on one side, and this is why I've done it in alternate, you've got green, you've got the patterned, and you've got the green. Yeah? So I'm just simply going to lift this tab slightly and glue it. So I'm going to add a little bit of glue on there and glue that one. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on there and glue that one. I'm then going to turn it over and I'm going to do the same thing again. So I'm going to slide those 2 inside and that one on the top. Lift that and glue it. Lift that and glue it. And I've got a feeling here I've glued this in completely the wrong place. In fact, I know that I have, so it's easy to show that we've both made a mistake. So we're going to pretend that didn't happen.
Oh, bless you.
And I'm going to do it again. This is what happens when you steal other people's ideas. So I'm just going to fold these back and forth,
Well,
but it's good to get it, to know we get it wrong as
You're
well.
rubbish at stealing ideas, though, because you put the lady's name on the packaging, so that's hardly very subtle.
No, I put Barbara's dear name. Whenever I get an idea for a die from somebody, I will always acknowledge them and I will always try and trace back who did it originally. Okay. And I think that is the most important thing, is to know who actually did that originally so that you can thank them and you can credit them for it. And I just think that's important. So what I want to do is, if we look again, I'm going to put them so that they're opposing each other. Yeah. But what I want to do is put glue on this tab that folds. Okay. And then I want to slide that in, get it to meet in the middle, and push it down so that these are loose. Yeah, unlike the first one where I glued them down like an idiot. Turn it over the other side and we do the same again. So I put glue on the 2 tabs that are loose, that are folded at the end. We fold this in and over and we press that down. So what we've got then is quite a nice looking, and again we would decorate that with tags or whatever, but when we fold it out it stands up.
Oh, clever.
So you've then got a 3-dimensional tag or tab card.
Oh, that's fabulous.
But of course it would fold flat that way, and it folds flat that way for posting. So you could put all different messages on, like a totem pole, but you could have that flat and put that onto one of the pages so that when it goes, it opens up.
I love it. It's like a little signpost.
Yeah, that was, to me, yeah, it is like a little signpost. You could put all the places that you'd love to travel when all this is over.
It could be like a tick list.
Yes.
I found a finished example of a card created exactly the same way as John's just been showing us here, and I love this because you can see obviously you've got that folds flat concept with this one. And I bet, I know how canny you crafters are at home, I bet you'll find a way of kind of connecting these as well, because you've kind of got those little arms there, haven't you, as well? So you can see there you've got cake, cocoa, cookie featuring there, tea, scones and coffee featuring there as well. I love that. So that's one. So John's been showing us so many different ways. Now, of course, you've got obviously the larger one and your slender one. Now, the slender one, of course, being used to recreate what we've just seen. So here is another version, again, showing that. But this time, you've got your sentiment feature, because, of course, you've got all those tabs there. You could be putting good luck on there, as you can see, working your way through there. And again, it could be that you've got a series of stamps, a series of elements that you're wanting to put together. There's another lovely version here. Very modern looking one here, featuring with the circles as well. If you've got those nested circles that John brought to us, love this one, like the spotty cardstock. And of course the beauty is many of the sentiments that you've got in your stash already from John are going to fit in there beautifully. And just one more to share with you as well. I think this is a lovely idea for wedding invitation here, with a little bit of ribbon wrapped around the middle there. So when you actually open it out and it opens out like so, then of course you could have your wedding sentiment in there. I feel like I've gone to, like, you know, and the winner is an opening up there. So there's another way you could use it as well. So really clever concept. I think, are we going back to John again? Yeah, I think so. Are you there? You all right? Are you there, John? Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm all here. Yes. What I thought I wanted to do is to show you how the actual smaller tag works that comes within the large one, and I would use that to decorate the front of one of the books. So I've made one of the books up already, and this is actually using some Anna Griffin I got from here, because I've got a bit of an addiction.
Nice.
So this is some Anna Griffin paper from here. So I've got a front cover, but it's very plain, and I wanted to show how the tag works. So I'm going to grab the larger tag, and this is what comes in the large tag die set. And you get 3 pieces to this. And what I'm going to do is you get this plain outside piece. So I'm just going to tape that down to cut that. We'll grab a little bit of scissors because I don't want to put a whole sheet through when I'm putting other pieces on. And then I've taken, you get this die in the set. So this one looks a bit strange, but what this does is cuts you panels out. So I've grabbed another piece of the paper that I've used for the book, and I'm just going to put that on, and we're going to tape that down, and I'll cut that one. And you finally get a little double stitched circle. Now that's so that you could cut it out of that, or you can do it as a final piece to go on top and stamp your sentiment on it. So I'm just going to run those through and just show you how they come out, because they don't actually come out how you'd actually imagine them. So we'll get those on, pop my lid on, and I'll run that one through. And while that's running through, I'm just going to grab my press to impress.
Oh, what's this?
Because what I want to do is I want to stamp a sentiment in the centre using the little set that we've got.
Oh, okay.
So here we go, here's our pieces. Let's move that to one side. Honestly, this is turning into my craft cave already. I've got bits mounding up over here. But if you see, when I take this one out, what I actually get are the 3 pieces that make up that
right,
pattern.
Yes.
Yeah. This one will give me the lovely back piece, and this one gives me the really nice circle for the centre. So it's really easy to do. So all I need to do, I don't think I'm going to get time to stamp a sentiment, but I'll try and show that in the next show. But you'll see that fits there, that fits just there, your circle fits in the middle, and your little circle fits in. But it was a really useful use of the metal.
Makes
and then
sense.
in the actual tag set that you get, the funky tags, there's even some little holes and reinforcers that you can stamp out and die cut that out of. So I'd just add that with a flower on the front and I'd be done.
Oh, I love it. absolutely beautiful. Now, of course, John's going to be back with us at 8 o'clock. John, thank you so much. I know we've only got a minute or so left, so we will catch up with John again at 8 o'clock. But I've just picked up a couple of little cards that we haven't had the chance to share with you yet, because, of course, we're talking about the one-day special. And as John explained to you, those little tags, those little elements that he's just been working with are kind of a bit of a bonus, because what John has done is he's designed these fabulous dies with that concept that Barbara Deere used when she created that Welcome to Your New Home card. But you've got two sides. You've got your large die, you've got your smaller die as well. And here you can see lovely Leslie has been working with her fabulous stamps here, giving you lots of opportunity, lots of areas that you can add your detail to. And of course you can extend it out and keep going if you so want to. Now, your one-day special deal has been a very popular one. 30% of the stock has gone, and that's in the first hour. So I'm hoping that we're going to have enough to see us through the whole 24-hour period. This is the initial hour, the launch hour. So don't forget to add it into your basket. Don't forget your 7-day saver as well. If you're wanting to add that in, just £9.99, you're going to get all this fabulous card stock coming on its way to you. 150 sheets there. Details are at the bottom of the screen. But of course, the star of the hour has been the one-day special. Details on your screen there. Take advantage. Spread the cost over 2 payments if you so choose. Just make sure you get hold of them before you miss out.